Hi, everyone. We're going to give folks just a minute to get logged in. Hope everyone's having a good Tuesday morning so far. Looks like we've got folks joining. So I think we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining our webinar today. This is one of a few webinars that we've done to highlight some of the products that bolt on to the Xenium Prism platform. And excited to talk about this one. Performance management is super important to me. I'm an HR practitioner, so this stuff is really important and makes a big difference inside of an employer. So we're going to share today one of our partners, Emily Connor, here with ClearCompany. She's going to do a demonstration of the product. And so let's go ahead and click onto the next slide there, Emily, if you don't mind. Okay, so my name's Lacey Partipilo. I'm the Senior Director of Client Success here at Xenium. I'll be celebrating 18 years in December, so I've been here for a little while, most of that on the HR side, which is why this performance management topic is so important to me. Emily Connor is the customer success manager at ClearCompany, and we've had the privilege of getting to know her over the last several months as we've been working on implementing ClearCompany for some of our clients, and excited for Emily to share a little bit more about the product, and I'll let her do a little introduction when we get started. So for some housekeeping items, the webinar will be around 60 minutes if we end early. I don't think folks complain about getting a little bit of time back in their day, so we'll be sure and keep to our timeline here. We'll leave some time at the end for Q&A. I just would ask that you use the Q&A feature here in the Zoom platform if you've got questions, and I'll be monitoring that, and we'll make sure that we get all those questions answered for all of you before the webinar is over. This session is going to be recorded, so if you've got other folks on your team, managers, supervisors, other stakeholders that may want to see exactly what this platform is all about, you'll be able to share that recording with them. So we will get that sent out to all of you this week. And then if you've got questions, of course, Emily or I will be available after the webinar to answer those questions. So our agenda for today, we're going to talk a little bit about performance and engagement trends in the workplace. Obviously, that helps inform why this product and doing performance management as a strategy inside of your organization matters. It really does increase engagement. We see that with our clients, and there's a lot of research and data out there about that. We'll do a product demonstration, so you'll actually get to see how this product works. And then again, we'll go through a Q&A here at the end. So I will stop talking now and hand it over to Emily. Excited to hear a little bit more about performance management and the product through ClearCompany.
Thanks so much, Lacey. I'm Emily Connor. It's great to meet you all, and I'm really excited to get to show you more of our system today and just how the performance management tool really works. I have been with ClearCompany for just over a year and a half, so not nearly as impressive as a track record as Lacey, but really enjoy working for the company here. We're always trying to kind of stay on that cutting edge of what's going on in the industry and understanding how our tools can best serve you. So excited to go over some of those kind of trends with you all today. So these are just a couple things I put together that we are seeing in the industry currently, just in terms of, filling roles and having that kind of performance at certain companies. We are seeing about 83% of HR professionals are experiencing difficulty filling those roles with the skilled workers that they need. And about 71% of CEOs are currently reporting that finding skilled workers will be one of their biggest future challenges. So one of the things that we've seen is there's become, more of a focus in recent years of really looking at your internal talent pool to see who can really be, can move up within the company and really have those skills for certain promotions. So the interesting thing about performance reviews is they are seen as unfair and inaccurate in the industry. About 85% of employees actually consider quitting after an unfair review. And employers are trying to add frequency, perspective, and context to the review process just to make it a fairer process for all. So really, as part of ClearCompany's platform, we really want to identify and understand employee trends to maximize your talent and leverage data-driven decisions to optimize that performance. So some other figures here, some of the employee engagement trends going on in the industry are that companies with better employee engagement see about 43% higher retention, 10% higher customer loyalty, and 23% higher profitability within their organizations. So some of the things that we have at ClearCompany and that we think are really effective for engagement is employee recognition. So you'll actually be able to see today, we offer tools that really help your employees feel more engaged within the organization. 37% of their employees say it's, the thing that would motivate them the most is actually getting that recognition. Also, professional development opportunities. 94% of people say they would stay at their jobs longer if they had more opportunity to grow. And then just having open communication. So having that kind of back and forth dialogue for employees, being able to share, their feedback and just to receive things like shout outs or highlights of the work that they're doing really helps them feel overall engaged within the organization. So I will get into the performance demo now and show you all a little bit more of our ClearCompany system. So this is basically what our dashboard looks like when you enter into ClearCompany. And we have a direct link with Xenium so that you can basically seamlessly have all of your employees sign into this platform from there. So when they enter in here, they'll be able to see any new hires within the organization, some of those things to drive engagement like shout outs or anniversaries or birthdays. We can have them all published here to kind of your main page. I think one of the things that you'll see as a trend throughout the demo today is that we're really trying to have tools for you and your organization so that it doesn't just happen once a year at the performance review. Your employees really feel engaged throughout the year and have, different aspects of the tool that they're really going in and, updating. And then when it comes to review time, they have plenty of information to go off of to have an effective review. So from here, just for today's perspective, this is, a made up company, but it has an employee here that is an HR manager. So I'll be able to really show you different views of what does this look like for your employees? What does it look like from a manager perspective? And then additionally, what does it look like for the HR team? So you'll be able to see some of those kind of different insights and views today. So first thing I wanted to hop into is our goals feature. So we have a feature where any of your employees can come in here, they can add a goal. We have a couple different types of goals. They can weight it differently. So, for example, if you have sales performers that want to add, $200 in quota a quarter that they need to meet, they can mess with the dates here if they want to make it a year-long goal or just something for a specific quarter. And then in addition, they can make this goal visible to whoever, they choose at the company. If they wanted to make it just visible to them, they are able to do that. But we see most, want it to be visible to their supervisor and superiors. Another cool feature that we have here is we are able to align any of your employees' goals into their supervisor or even, a CEO or another executive at the company. We actually at ClearCompany, we're able to see our CEO's goals and create our own goals that we can tie into his. I think one of his main ones this year was actually on par with Pam's to hire A players. So, any of our recruiters that want to tie their goal into that, or even other hiring managers, are able to align their goals to the supervisors and executives. We've seen overall that, clients that do utilize that feature, their employees just really feel, driven in the work that they're doing on a day-to-day and feel like their work is actually making an impact on the bottom line. So moving along here, once those goals are created, your employees can basically see the view of where they are in progress. They're able to update these, as they're going along, say if they're ahead, on target, behind, then mark them when it's complete. And in addition, these goals, if they have the visibility to their manager will be able to give them that kind of feedback of, great job, keep it up, or where they might need a little bit of a push to complete a goal. The next feature of goals that I wanted to show you, just going along with having those different views, is what it'll look like for your managers. So this is basically the tab that they can go to at any time and access any of their direct reports and see what their goals are, and again, go in and leave that feedback. If their team has chosen to align some of their goals to the manager, they can see that as well. But really be able to see kind of a bird's eye view and then click into any of these employees and, leave feedback effectively. So before we dive into just doing an actual performance review, I want to take you all through a mock kind of review of what that would look like. The other feature I wanted to show you was just our one-on-one tool. So this is another way to give really great kind of, timely feedback. So going into anyone's workspace, your employees could basically have a back and forth dialogue again with their managers. So whether you're doing weekly one-on-ones, monthly, or if you're just looking to actually start doing one-on-ones, this is a great feature to have some of those things. And then your employees can also save items as a task. So if they want to come back to that later and remind themselves of something, they can have that saved here as well. We see this as a really great feature, again, just having that consistent kind of feedback and knowledge transfer throughout the year so that when your hiring managers or your employees are going and actually sitting down to write the annual review, they're not like, oh, what did Hallie do in March? What did she meet that goal, or what did we talk about in this one-on-one in September? I feel like most of us can't remember what we ate for breakfast yesterday. So having this kind of saved in the tool is really helpful as they're writing that review. And then the last feature specifically for your hiring managers that can be great is our private notes feature. So this is really an opportunity for them to leave any notes just for them that they can see. Again, we see if there's something, as an example, if they had an employee that was late 15 times in a month, this is a place where they can kind of go leave that feedback. Again, it stays in the portal for just them to see, so they can go back and when they are writing the annual review, really have any of their notes there in one place that, can help them write a more effective review. So, moving right along, I wanted to show what it'll actually look like to create an annual performance review. We do have several different types of reviews. So, we do offer 360 reviews, onboarding, which we see a lot of clients utilize in a 30, 60, 90 type of environment if they want to kind of track how that onboarding has been going. And then I would say our most popular annual review is this date-based performance review. But we do also offer the option if you wanted to do an anniversary type of review that basically your employees would get it once a year on their on their anniversary and be able to review themselves then. So moving right along, here we are creating a performance review. You can title it exactly as you'd like and leave any instructions for your employees to complete. And then you'll actually get into creating the bones of the review. So from here, we have a schedule and workflow. You can create when the review actually starts if you want to start this in the future, what the time period is that your employees will be evaluated on. We see most clients, obviously are doing this once a year, so it's usually the prior year, but if you wanted to do this once a quarter or twice a year, you can move this however you see fit. And then we do also have the option to include different workflows. So at ClearCompany, we do offer an amount of stock type of workflows. So ones that we just see that most clients are kind of utilizing. I think our most popular one that we see is the self-evaluation, then going to a manager, then going to HR for a final, sign off. But if you were looking to just do one that's manager evaluation, self-evaluation, we even offer performance improvement plan type of template. So we have a ton of different workflows here that you can choose from, plug and play, or you can create a new one depending on if none of these are what you'd like. So creating the actual workflow, here you can see this is how you can manage how you want each workflow, how long you want it to run for. So these can be different amounts of days if you want to give your employees 7 and then 5 for the managers. And then maybe your HR team wants to calibrate for 10 days to go over the results and figure out, promotions or different things like that. And then down here, you can see when this review will basically end from all of these steps. So once that's good to go, you'll click Confirm Changes. That will light up green. And then you'll go into creating your content. So much like the workflow at ClearCompany, we have tons of stock content for you to choose from. Similar type of thing there where you can just pick a content and then plug and play questions that you want in there for your company. We have everything that's as simple as something like this that we call our simple performance review. That's just a couple questions and they can grade themselves effectively. We do also have the option to include role competencies. So if that's something that you do currently or something you'd be looking to do in the future, we have the ability that you can add all the roles at your organization and tag certain competencies to those roles. So for example, here we're seeing some of these competency type questions are really focused towards an HR manager. So the questions that she's getting on the review are, organizational leadership, coaching, collaboration, but you could edit these however you like and then have those questions really tailored, to the employees at your organization. So again, same thing here. Once you decide the content you'd like, you'll click Confirm Changes and that will light up green. And then down here is where you can include any of the employees that you'd like in this review. Depending on the organization, we see some clients that want to include everyone at their company. And then we see others that want to differentiate and have different reviews. Maybe they have one that's specifically targeted to individual contributors, one specifically targeted towards managers, or exempt, non-exempt, different offices. So we have the ability here for you to really pull in anyone that you'd like, whether it's a different department, office, role, or you can even tag certain employees that way. So once you see everyone that you'd like to include, click Confirm Changes, and then you'll see everything there is lit up green. So once we're ready to launch, then we'll see a review page, and this is just for the HR employee that is managing the review. You'll be able to go in here and see everyone at the organization and where they currently are in the review process. So our software does give automatic notifications. Your employees will receive emails, and especially if maybe you have an employee that's finished their review early, it'll then just go into that next stage where it sends to the manager and it's time for them to complete it. So they will get those automated reminders, but I always think this is just a great thing to call out that, if you have somebody that is past due on a self-evaluation or part of the review, you can send them a note and say, hey, we see you haven't completed it. Can you go in there and complete the review? The other thing I just would like to mention about deadlines is that, if you do have employees that still pass a deadline, they still are able to go in there and complete it. So it won't lock them out or anything if they have missed, the date to complete by. The next thing I wanted to show is just once the review is actually fully completed, what this will look like. So this is a view that not only HR will have, but your employees and their manager of a completed performance review. So we can see here every stage and when it was submitted. During the review, if your employees did want to add, any email shout outs that they had or other aspects, that they wanted to add to their review, they could add any review files. And then down here, we see that role competency type of questions. So you're able to see, who scored what, and then any comment and feedback that they had during the review. Another feature, since I brought this up earlier, is I wanted to show just how the goals will tie in later. So if your organization did decide to utilize the goals in ClearCompany and were great about updating them, we could actually have the goals come into your review at that time. So basically they'll be able to see here, hey, how did you actually trend towards these goals that you set in the beginning of the year? And both leave comments on those. We also do offer the ability to add in goal planning. If there is, if you would like to see your employees actually add their goals during that review process. And then there's signatures here at the bottom and an average weighted score as well. Any questions that we're getting from the chat so far, Lacey?
There are a few. Do you want me to go through some of these now before you move on? Okay.
Sure.
Okay, so first one, the private notes that you shared, are those visible to employees? Assuming no, since it's titled private, but just curious.
Yeah, they won't be visible. So for example, even I'm not a manager at my company, but if I left a private note, only I could see it. My supervisor wouldn't be able to see it. And then same thing, if my supervisor left a private note for herself, no one else will be able to see that but her.
Got it. Okay. And then we have another question. Are there different rating scales? Are you able to have open-ended questions for the employees to fill out during their self-eval?
Yeah, great question. So there are a ton of different rating scales we have. So that's actually part of our content feature. When you are, either if you're plugging and playing our content or creating your own from scratch, you'll be able to create a template, different sections, and then different scales. So we offer some that are, again, kind of stock content scales that you can choose from, but we also, offer the ability for you to make your own. So tons of different options there, very customizable.
Okay. And then can employees answer open-ended questions during their self-eval as part of that? That can be customized too.
Yep, definitely. So, for example, here on this one, I think we might have a question. Yeah, so professional development, this is something they created that, could be an open-ended question. So definitely have the ability to add those two and have them, non-weighted essentially,
Okay.
or non-scale.
And then the last one so far, do the competencies populate based on the role with recommendations? Is that what happened with that HR manager that you had? It gave some suggested competencies?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we do have a ton that we, kind of suggest based on roles. We have a ton of roles already built into our platform that make it easier for you, but they are customizable. So if you don't want some of those competencies, or if you want to create your own competencies for a specific role, maybe you already have some at your organization that you utilize or some company values that you want to tie in, those can be updated. But we do have a ton of like suggestions based on the roles that you have. And you'd probably be surprised how many roles we have in here. I know we have a ton of like healthcare clients, for example. So we'll have things like medical billing specialist or accountant, really anything you can think of. And then if we don't have it, you can always create that role as well.
Okay. Perfect. That's all we've got so far.
Awesome. Well, I'll keep going here. So wanted to show you all also the view again for your employees. So once any of these reviews are completed, they will live under their performance tab in the software. So they can see any of their current active reviews, anything that's completed over here on the right-hand side. And then one aspect I think is really cool is that they can see their performance history over time. So if they are kind of moving up, each year, just how their performance has really trended over time, or if you have somebody that maybe recently moved into a manager role, has it dipped a little bit? So this is really a great way for, I think, your employees to also take kind of their promotional path into their own hands, being able to see anything of their past reviews, where they trend over time. And then we also keep their shout outs on this performance tab too. So just gives them the ability to really be proactive and be able to speak to their performance history. And then the last piece of our performance demo that I wanted to show you today was really one of our reports that we see a lot of clients utilize. So this is our 9-box report. We have several different aspects that you're able to tie in here. So we have role competencies, if you choose to utilize those, average score from a specific review. And then we also have goal review if you wanted to tie those in if you were utilizing the goals feature. So what this really tells us is, where are your top performers within the company? Maybe who's eligible for that next promotion. Our star HR manager here, Jessica Simmons, she has a great average score from her review, and she's also very in line with the role competencies that were set for her. Whereas maybe we have someone over here that has a decent average score from the review, but maybe is not as in line with their role competencies? And is that kind of a decision-making tool for your team to say, hey, great employee here. Maybe we don't have Sebastian in the right role. Is there a better role for him based on the competencies that he is aligning with? So definitely great when it comes to decision making, again, for your team and just choosing some of those promotions and some of those A players that you want to keep at your company. And then the last piece I just wanted to show you all was also that we have our survey tool as well. So I know in the era of, post-COVID era, some of us might have more dispersed workplaces now. You might not see your employees every single day. So it's a great way to get some of that feedback. And, we can do this anonymously as well from your employees of just how they're feeling overall at the organization. So we have several different, stock templates here for surveys. However, if you wanted to make your own from scratch, again, another thing you can customize. We do see that a lot of our clients utilize this employee engagement one, again, to just track how employees are feeling. And then one cool feature we do have is that over time, if you are sending the same survey out, every quarter, every year, you can actually track, if the employee engagement has improved, if some of the answers to those questions have improved, and really help, your executive level just to make better decisions on having employees feel more engaged. So that's everything I wanted to share today. I'll move back into our deck, but happy to answer any questions if any others came in,
Yeah,
Lacey.
there are a few more. So can you speak to how the information feeds from Prism into ClearCompany's platform so that they can kind of understand, are they entering new hires in ClearCompany or is that flowing over?
Yeah, great question. So that would be flowing over. So basically, the information that comes over to us from Prism is, name, work email, I think sometimes phone number, if that's included, their role, and then their supervisor. So anything that's been updated in Prism, we see almost instantly is updated in here, if not within that same day. And we are able to do any manual syncs if, something's been updated in Prism and, you need to see that live in our organization or our software as well. So that's most of the information that comes over, I believe. If there is an update to a supervisor or anything like that, especially before an annual review, you'll just want to make sure that's updated in Prism so it updates on our end. Otherwise, the only thing that gets sticky is once you launch a review, it is hard to change that manager that's been assigned. So that's just my general rule of thumb. Anything that needs to be updated from that supervisor type of relationship should be done in Prism before you launch a review on our side.
Can you speak to the manager roles? Is there an administrator at the client that can give access to managers, or it's truly just based on what Prism says as a manager?
Yeah, so I know Prism had updated some of this late last year too, where I think they changed something with PTO approver. So I believe from a supervisor PTO approver perspective, like that'll come over as the supervisor. I don't think they'll have any admin access off the bat unless that was something that you wanted to add. So we do offer several different types of permissions within our side that if you had a handful of managers that you did want to give, performance admin access to or roles admin, survey admin type access, you can do that on our side. But they won't have like a different login per se, or, just as a hiring manager, supervisor, they won't come in and see necessarily different things, except for just the fact they'll be able to see their team, see those reviews, some of those types of things. I hope that answered that question.
Yeah,
So if there's a follow-up, let me know. I know it
yeah,
can get confusing.
that's good. Can you answer this? Once the manager fills out the evaluation, is it automatically sent to the employee, or is it like you meet with the employee first and then it becomes visible? How does that workflow work?
Yeah, that's a great question. We have several options there. So we know that there's a bunch of clients that, probably don't want their employee to see anything final until the review is complete. So there's several different visibility features that we have where you can hide the review from just the employee, hide the review from the employee and the supervisor until it's complete. So definitely different features there. I think, most clients are probably doing that till the review's over. But yeah, there's definitely that ability to, once they complete it, they won't see it. I think that's kind of our standard tool that we see. They won't see it until it's completely finished and complete.
Okay. Does the system send reminders to managers that they have reviews due? And then also, are there escalations if a manager is not completing their review in a timely manner?
Yeah, so they will receive automated emails when the review has opened. You can also customize those emails. So again, we have kind of like a standard flow that we use, but if you don't like that flow, you can not, can X out of that email or add your own as you see fit. So we definitely have that going automated. And then, for example, if we had, Lacey as an employee and Emily as her manager, and Lacey completed her review early, I would automatically get an email that it's completed and I can go in and review Lacey. If there's escalations that are needed, we do have a feature where you can email employees, from the portal just as a reminder. So if there, was someone from that list that was past due, you can kind of click on their profile and then send them an email. That's about like the extent of what we do with escalations there. But they will get all those automated emails. And then also, just to mention, they do have a tasks tab. So if they ever log in, and I know sometimes I used to be a recruiter, so with hiring managers, I know sometimes it's like, it's there. If you look, it's there. But if they're ever not sure where something is, they have a tasks tab, and anything that they'll need to complete will be under their tasks. So we do offer that as well as just kind of a nudge of, here are all your unread tasks that you need to complete.
Is there a dashboard for, let's say, an HR manager who's trying to see who all has gone in and done what they need to do? I'm assuming there's reports that they can pull, or there's a dashboard where I could see that I've got 3 managers that have not completed their reviews.
Yeah, exactly. So this tab, when the review is active, they'll be able to see anyone that is past due. Even if I know this is showing a self-evaluation, but if it was a manager, they'd be able to see that as well under here. And then they can go to the ultimate results and see, how everyone scored as well.
Okay. Another question, can the shout out function be tied to any benefit perk or like cash bonus?
That's a good question. I don't know if I've ever gotten that one before. Um, I don't think we have a feature kind of set in that way now, just because we don't, have benefits as part of our system, obviously. But that's something I can definitely look at. I'm sure, even though that's the first time I got that question, I'm sure others have asked it before. So I'll see if that's on our product roadmap to add. We're always trying to add kind of new features like that to keep employees engaged. So I love that question, and I can definitely look into that. But I don't think at this time we have anything that will, automatically trigger like a benefit or cash bonus. It would be
Okay.
something the HR team would have to track.
Are there reports you can run for shout outs that people receive? So if you were tracking, like if someone received a certain number of something, they could receive a little something extra.
Yeah, I think we could probably build that as a custom report. We don't have that as a standard report in our system, but we do get requests sometimes for different reports that we don't have, already in the software that we're able to do. So that's definitely something, we could probably build for, one-off basis, or as the HR admin, you'll be able to go into those employees' profiles and see. I know that's a little bit more manual to have to pull up their profile, but you will have access to see all of that as, the HR and performance admin.
Okay. Does the system include performance improvement tracking?
Yes, so we have a standard template to do a performance improvement plan. I think, obviously the verbiage can be changed for, as your organization sees fit, but we have something that basically goes to the employee to sign off on, then the manager, then HR, and just some general language on improving. We don't have necessarily like a improvement tool to kind of track, how that employee has done with after getting put on that plan. But we do have something, that can be signed off on by all parties and really customized, but not something that would specifically track, like future offenses or behavior, if that makes sense.
Got it. Okay. And then last one so far that I see in here is, can you talk a little bit about what a typical implementation is like in terms of timeline and what the clients could expect if they decided to move forward?
Yeah. So our implementation team at ClearCompany is great. They really can take as little or as long as you'd like. So I think they do overall somewhere between probably 4 to 6 sessions with you, just to make sure you're really comfortable with the system and that you're learning everything you need to. We do have a ton of great content too built into the system that are learning modules. So, for example, I know we have one that's specifically ClearCompany for hiring managers. So, if you launched a review but felt like beforehand you wanted your managers to get brushed up on some of the coaching and filling out that review, we do have like a video kind of module to take them through that. But specifically as it relates to implementation, they'll just give you kind of like little pieces of homework and things to do and build out. And then, if you want to move as quickly as a week or two, we can do that. If you want to take a little bit more time to learn the system and teach yourself different things outside of those sessions, then, we've seen other clients take a few months. But yeah, they really leave it up to you and how much time you have to dedicate to just learning. And then they'll teach you, different things along the way. And then once you're through implementation, we have a great support team. And then, our partner team, including myself, will help with like any questions. I've helped a lot of clients, from that implementation to then launching, feel really comfortable. And I always offer myself too as like a test rabbit if you need to test certain emails or how things look. So you'll do a lot of that in implementation, but our team's always happy to help that, once you're through implementation, because sometimes you might not be launching a review for a few months and some of those things can, easily be forgetful. So yeah.
Perfect. I don't think we've got any other questions. I'll keep my eye in case anyone has any other ones, but I think we can move on.
Awesome. Thanks, Lacey. Well, I just wanted to go over some of the key takeaways that we saw today. So really this tool that we have at ClearCompany supports, ongoing feedback and coaching, both for your employees and for your managers, just to have that kind of consistent back and forth feedback. We have great shout outs that really help employees feel more driven to the organization. Obviously, there's collaborative goal planning. So we were able to see both an individual's view of creating a goal and aligning it to, their superior or to the executive level. And then we've also been able to see the manager's view where they can see their whole team of direct reports. We do have some great reporting and analytics tools that will help you to just make more informed decisions as the HR team when it comes to promotion path increases or just even moving, performers into a different part of the company. We have a great one-on-one tool whether you're utilizing that currently or you're just looking to in the future. We do offer 360 reviews. I know I went over that kind of lightly, but I think that's becoming a bigger trend in the industry of just wanting employees to feel like they can be reviewed by others that they're working collaboratively with besides their manager. And then again, we are a mobile optimized software. So we don't have an app in the App Store, but all of this can be done from your employees' phones. So it's really seamless and easy to use from that perspective. And that's it. So thank you all so much for joining. And we'll just see, I guess, if there's any other questions or anything else you wanted to share, Lacey.
Yeah, no other questions, but thank you all for joining. If you've got further questions or if you're interested in learning a little bit more about what this might look like for your organization, feel free to send me an email, or you can reach out to your HR business partner and they can definitely coordinate a further conversation with Emily and her team. Appreciate everyone today for coming. Thanks, Emily.
Thanks.